guys, so I thought today we would take a look at a Vicks plant. This video is going to be about how to propagate a Vicks plant. If you wanted to know more about a Vicks plant, we will have a link in the description for a video that we shot explaining what this plant is. And if you want more propagation videos, we also have a playlist on our YouTube channel where we are having going over plants that you can propagate and how to do that. So anyway, let's get to it. This is a Vicks plant. It's actually a coleus, so it responds really well to rooting from the stem. So what you're going to do is you take your mother plant, or your plant that you want to, your victim, if you will, and find a nice stem that you like that looks healthy with lots of leaves. We're going to take about ½ an inch to an inch below this nice set of leaves here. Get in here with our pruners and cut that off. So if you'll notice, I did it right after a node. So there's still this leaf, and there's still these two that are budding out that are going to be new stems. And then we have the cutting that we took. So this cutting, there's two new leaves coming up here. The next set of leaves here, and then the two oldest leaves are right here. But they also have these two leaves coming up through the middle on either side. And so those will actually leaf out the opposite direction and continue to grow that way as well. So the cutting that we just took is now going to promote these two leaves here, or four leaves I should say. These four leaves are going to bush out this way, and it's going to split. So we now have a Y on our stem. It's going to come up like this, and then Y out like this, and that's how you actually get a thicker plant. So you can continue to do that on all of your cuttings. So we have one here, we have another one here, right in here. And so all of these will root, so I'm not too nervous about taking too much. And all it does is promote your mother plant to bush out a little bit more than it would otherwise. So we'll take a few more cuttings, and then I'll show you guys what the plan is for getting these guys to root. These are actually really nice to touch. They're super velvety or really fuzzy. Kind of a nice plant, and the smell is just crazy good. If you want to know more about this plant, just click the link in the description for the video that we shot on what this plant is and why we like it so much. Alright, well I think that's enough for now. We'll leave it like that. So here we have a tray of soil. There's no individual plugs like what we've done in the past. There's no reason for that, it's entirely preference. But for these Vicks plants in the past, we've used a tray like this, so we're going to do the same thing. So we have a tray of soil, we haven't patted it down. All we did was fill the tray with soil, and then we watered it so it's nice and damp. We're not going to remove any leaves because we already cut this right above a leaf node. So we actually have a nice 3/4 inch bare stem here with no leaves on it. So we're going to take this guy and dip him in some rooting hormone, which we strongly suggest. It actually speeds up your rooting by about half. So we take our rooting hormone and we're just going to dip the tip of the stem in that, and we just plant it directly into the substrate, up until the bottom set of leaves. Here's another cutting that we took. There's a few extra leaves on this guy, so we'll pluck these off. So there we go, we have all of our cuttings planted in here. The most important thing when you have a fresh cut stem that you're trying to root is to not stress it out. So they want to stay a little bit moist so that they have a permanent water supply. They also want to stay out of the sunlight. Remember, these don't have roots. So if you put them out into the full sun where the sun is beating down on them, there's not very much moisture inside this plant, and it doesn't have any way to currently wick moisture out of the soil into the plant. So you need to keep it out of the direct sunlight, maybe away from a window, or maybe underneath the table or underneath the shelf that's away from the sunlight. Then you can, I recommend either covering it with a bag or stopping by your local nursery and getting a greenhouse tray, and then you can actually create a little bit of a greenhouse environment where those plants will not dry out. If you have them sitting out in the open, quite often the soil will dry out, and then you're constantly watering and watching the soil temperature and moisture level. Whereas if you get a greenhouse top, it'll just stay humid in there and you won't have to mess around with it too much. Now this is a coleus, so they respond very well to rooting the leaves as well. The catch with coleus is that quite often, not in all cases, but in this case, you could plant a leaf in here, just like this. You could plant a little bundle of leaves, and they'll stay alive. They'll actually root out, and they will stay alive, but they won't grow into a plant. Those roots, it'll have a huge root system with one tiny little leaf, but I've never seen it grow into an actual plant unless you actually have a stem attached to it. So anyway, that's the Vicks plant. If you guys have any questions... So here's a Vicks plant that we propagated back in early March, and it's now April 13th right now. So it's about a month and a half to get a cutting from this size to a rooted plant that's about this size here. So they actually grow quite quick. If you guys want to see more propagation videos in the future, click subscribe so that we know that you want to watch them, and give this video a big fat thumbs up so that we kind of can get a feel for what kind of videos we should be putting out there. Awesome, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.